Today, just do a quick update. The fishing has been a little bit slow, but what'll entice you to come out? On Saturday, February 20th at 7 o'clock, there's registration for a derby out here at Lake Audubon. You need to come to the Cotton Trail. And I'm not in any way affiliated with the Bisman Reel and Rec Club. I'm going to join them this year and become a member. However, I do have a Cinderella story to tell you about with this whole derby that they've been doing for years and years out here. I had never been a part of it, any derby, fishing derby at all. So one day I was going to come out fishing. It was a Saturday. I decided to come out 2 years ago to go fishing, and there were just solid people out here. And I turned around and I thought, man, I don't know if I'm going to fish today because there's so many people out here in my spot. I went in and I registered. I asked them all about it, and they're like, well, it's only $10. You go out, you fish. If you catch a fish, we weigh your fish. So I was like, oh, that sounds easy enough. And I wasn't so intimidated that I couldn't pay them $10 and go over and throw my hub shelter out and give it a go. The registration had already come to a close almost. It was about 10 o'clock about the time I rolled in there, and that's about the time fishing begins. So by the time I had my hub shelter set up and everything, it was 10:30, and I was setting my jaw jacker, and my first line was my jaw jacker. That's normally what I like to put down, and it happened to be the first line that I was putting down, and before I could even set the device, I felt a little wiggle on the end of the rod tip, and I pulled it up and hooked into a nice perch, pulled that up, and ended up weighing that in, and it was 8.6 ounces, which, hey, you're like, well, that's not a very big perch. Well, that's an 11-inch perch. That's the biggest perch I've caught in North Dakota. So I was pretty excited about the size of that perch, and regardless, I had a weight, and that was my first fish of the day. And then I went back to my hut, my little shelter, and continued to fish and caught a few more perch and a couple walleye. But I was the last one off the ice that day. I had finally, got everything taken down and went in and ended up hanging out in the Cotton Trail arena, and just enjoyed the food and company of fishermen, and it was a really great time. They started announcing, the best perch, you get the best walleye, the best northern. Well, I ended up having the best perch out of the whole bunch, out of all the people. There was about 300 people that day fishing. That was in 2019, so it ended up being one of the things that would hook me to coming out and doing this Bisman Reel and Rec Club fishing derby every single year. It can't be beat. Bisman Reel and Rec Club. They're having a small raffle and some prizes and some drawings afterwards in Cotton Trail and at the arena there. So, but registration is at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there'll probably be a lot of people trying to get their spots, vying for their favorite position out here. There's a few wheelhouses out here all ready to go. Fishing starts at 10, it ends at 2, and come and hang out. But looks like there's a pressure ridge just about 4 towers to the south from the boat launch here, so you can't cross the pressure ridge, so make sure you check that out, and don't go past the island that's just to the southeast as you come off the boat launch here. Can't go beyond that or to the east of that island, and it's pretty much the same boundaries that they always have. They'll set up the cones that morning so that you'll know for sure when you're driving out here. So, but 23 inches of ice, if you're curious about that. Last time I was out here last night, 23 inches of ice. There's plenty of ice to drive on. It is a little bit wavy, but that's from where I could tell, and I've been out here since November, so it's definitely a lot thicker now than it ever has been. So you probably won't need an extension unless you're bringing your wheelhouse and you're drilling through the floor and into the 23 inches of ice there, but otherwise that's about it. So anyway, thanks, and stay tuned, subscribe, like this page, come back. I always try to make fishing videos. It's a little hectic right now, but life always includes fishing, regardless of what I do. So Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.